What else do you do when you have two 50-year-old trucks that are almost identical? You gotta run them against each other. You ready? Let's do it. Okay, you ready, ladies and gentlemen? Because this is gonna be something different. Instead of a Hemi, we have an inline six, 242 cubic inches, real-time autocorrection, 240 cubic inches. So again, it's not the prototypical vehicle you're gonna see at Goldberg's Garage. The reason why it's here is the sentimental value of this truck. It's got 149 freaking horsepower, right? It's a 3-speed manual on the column. I'm not banging through the gears at 1,000 horsepower. It's not a car that I have because I can take it out and rip the tires off of it. It's not a car that I can take out and, you know, put 10 people in and go have a great time. The fact is, it's in the collection because it means everything to our family. You know, my wife's siblings, everyone in their family learned how to drive in this truck. It's a 67 M100. It's a identical copy to a 67 F100, which is the Ford version. It's a Canadian export. It was on the farm. It was a farm, designated as a farm truck in '73 when they bought it. This thing's been rolled on its side before. It traditionally carried round bales of hay, if you know how big and how heavy those are. It traditionally was their hunting truck. One thing to note is that the name of the truck is Ernie. Ernie is the nickname of my wife's older brother who unfortunately passed away years ago. Ernest was a nickname of his that he acquired on the job site. So its place here is based solely on its sentimental value. I can honestly say that it's the most expensive 67 Mercury on the planet because I personally, along with my mechanic out in California, restored this truck. I broke probably 90% of the bolts off of this truck because they were rusted. It being outside in 25 years in Saskatchewan did not do it justice. But as I said, we brought it back, and if it's good enough for Leno to drive around in, it's good enough for you.
I guess I just must be really attracted to women born on September 5th.
That is so bizarre.
It doesn't go any further than this. I'm happily married. What?
Might need my license. Shit, it's gonna rain. Okay, hopefully the Texas weather agrees with us and allows us to take this nice little drive, and a nice little drive it is. Obviously, it's been in the Ferriton family for ages, actually since 1973, lightly used, and they designated it as the ranch truck. So it's been its whole life in Saskatchewan on a 6,000-acre grain farm. As I said, we're not driving it because it hauls ass. We're driving it because it has the sentimental value that a lot of other cars don't have. Being here in Texas, driving a 1967 Mercury truck through the back roads, wearing a cowboy hat, kind of feels appropriate. As I've said many times before, not too many people are going to take a 67 Mercury and spend the money for a complete 100% restoration that we did. It means more to us than any other vehicle in the collection. Obviously, it had been in Wanda's family the duration. Actually, to be honest with you, it's part of the family. It's an absolute dream to drive. And I gotta say, it probably garners more attention than any other vehicle does. And it's always interesting driving a 3 on the tree. This is actually the second 3 on the tree vehicle I've ever driven. The first was during Automaniac, a show that I hosted a long time ago. I actually learned how to drive a 3 on the tree in the Hudson Hornet, the one and only Hudson Hornet. With the lack of performance in this vehicle, I think the only race we're entered in right now is against the weather. Okay, we ready? Hold on tight. Here we go, 0 to 60.
Many, many minutes later.
We're at 40. We're at 45. We're at 50. I don't think we're gonna hit 60 by the time we hit the county line. I think I need some country music playing in the background. Okay, that was a nice little ride. Let's talk about the restoration a little bit. Well, no expense was spared, as I said earlier in restoring this. You obviously have a game plan once you start taking that first bolt off. And our game plan was to go 100%, not leave any detail uncovered. I started by breaking, probably 90% of the bolts off of this thing. It was so rusted. Almost every bolt broke in half. Took it down to bare metal, refinished, repainted, reassembled. Didn't do anything additional to the truck than that it actually came with. 9 times out of 10, when you fully restore something, you add something to it. We didn't add a thing to it. All of the memories that the Ferreton family has in this vehicle meant that we couldn't leave any stone unturned. So we went 1,000% with the restoration. Mechanically, it didn't really need anything. It just needed freshening up. Cosmetically, it needed everything. And this is what you see. Probably the nicest example of an M100 67 Mercury on the planet. We didn't alter anything, we didn't add anything, we didn't replace anything, we refinished everything. We restored everything, we didn't replace things. Okay, I like to be the plethora of knowledge always when I open the hood and talk about what I'm about to talk about here, but let's be realistic. I'm a Hemi guy, I'm a high horsepower guy, I'm not an inline 6 guy. So in this case, it's not what you know, it's who you know. So, for that reason, I have pulled a friend in to tell us a little bit about this 67 Mercury, because right here, almost identical, we have a 68 Ford F-250. Justin, you know, I heard through a friend that you had this vehicle. It's an unrestored 68 Ford F-250. We know at this point that the differences between these two are just badging.
Small, very small.
This is the Canadian export version. This is the American version. Tell us a little bit about your truck. Actually, tell us a lot about your truck because you know more about it than I know more about mine.
For sure. So this is my 68 F-250. It's basically my daily driver. I use it to run errands.
And it's an unrestored.
Unrestored, yeah. I mean, I've done a little cleaning up on the interior, the wheels, painted the wheels, and yeah, but I mean, it's wearing its original paint and engine, running gear, all that. So
everything I've read is that these things are identical. One was a Canadian export, one was an American, version. The only thing that's different is the badging.
Yeah, basically
I would imagine the trunk lid's got the Ford on it for you, the Mercury over here, the engine badging on the side and stuff.
And then like on the hood, the Ford just says Ford. But other than that, they're identical, same bodies. Everything's the same on them. So
I know one thing that's not identical in talking to you is they're both inline 6s, but this is the 300 cubic inch version versus the 242 or 240. Look at the cute 15-inch wheels compared to the massive 16-inch wheels on the F-250.
1 more inch.
Yes, boys, 1 inch does make a difference.
It matters.
What else do you do when you have two 50-year-old trucks that are almost identical? You gotta run them against each other. So what we're gonna do is see who can get the fastest lap around Goldberg's garage. You ready?
Let's get it.
Let's do it.
Dub.
Who's next? It was the shifting that did it. That's all. I stayed in first gear. I got taller gears. Well, thanks for tuning in to Goldberg's Garage today. Hope you had a good time. If you like what you saw, hit the like button, throw in a positive comment, and make sure you subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notifications button so that each new video posted goes right to you. Hope you enjoyed the Mercury M100, and thanks to Justin.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
For bringing the F100 68 so we could compare them side by side. Make sure you tune in next time, because you never know who's pulling into pit lane.